In the past on this podcast, we've talked about various systems in your business that can help you grow. But today I want to talk about one that I haven't specifically talked about on the podcast. I know I've done it a lot on different social media posts, but it's time to talk about this. And it tends to be an area that is actually very overlooked in a lot of people's businesses, and it can literally fuel growth for you. My favorite thing about this specific system is that it's not a heavy lift. It's not a lot of effort to change, to put in place, but it will give your business so much growth potential on the other side. Welcome to the Savvy Founder Podcast, where vision meets strategy. Get ready to unlock the power of mindset and entrepreneurship and demystify the art of systemizing your business for success. I'm your host, Janae Reed, an engineer turned master mindset coach and systems expert. Are you ready to transform your business and mindset? Then let's dive in and make your vision a reality right here on the Savvy Founder Podcast. Okay, so a lot of people focus on making the sale, right? And I talk about that too. And those things are important because obviously we're in business, we need to make money. Yes, the sale matters. But what happens after the sale almost matters more when you think about the sustainability of your business, because what I want to talk to you today about is that it's not that the most important moment in your business is when someone finds you or when they pay you. It's really what happens next. And what happens next is right after someone purchases, right? You have to think about this. When someone takes out their credit card to pay you for whatever service, whatever outcome that they're hoping to get, they have essentially cashed in the trust they have in what you do. They have cashed in the trust in their ability to achieve the results that they want to achieve, right? And so essentially, in essence, this is one of the most vulnerable places they can be in when it comes to the relationship dynamic, because it's kind of that moment of, ooh, okay, essentially they just shot their shot, right? Literally like in dating. It's like the ball was in their court. Were they going to buy? They just bought. Now it's kind of like, okay, I shot my shot. What, like, was this worth it? Was this not worth it? There's this element of excitement that they have, but also uncertainty, right? They don't know yet. And a lot of businesses will actually drop the ball right here. And that comes down to your onboarding process, how you onboard your clients. And this has a huge impact on the foundations that grow your business. And I'm going to dive all into that in this episode. So where does the impacts of onboarding show up? Onboarding has a direct impact on not just the retention of those clients, but also referrals. And the reason that onboarding affects retention more so than marketing is because this is really where people are trying to make that internal decision of, did they make the right decision? Your referrals and your retention will drastically impact your business's profitability as well as your growth, because essentially what's happening is when you have more referrals, the cost that your business has for getting new customers goes down. And also, when you have a longer retention, your customer lifetime value goes up. Customer lifetime value is like the bloodline of your business, okay? Because that really sets the tone for how much is it even, like how much are you actually able to spend to acquire your customer really depends on, hey, if you have a really solid customer lifetime value, that is an absolute game changer. And the nice thing about it is that when you have that higher retention rate, obviously your profit increases, right? And so this is really the baseline of what makes it more sustainable, what makes it like more quality growth. And what I mean by that is it's not the same as, hey, you did this one action, you did this one launch, and now you have this amount of sales, you have this success, but then the next launch isn't necessarily bigger just because of the previous one. Whereas when you actually focus on referrals and retention, this is something that will continue to compound over time through your business, which I think is just so cool. So, okay, back to on track. Your onboarding literally tells your clients how supported they're going to be. It's the moment of truth of, hey, do I feel like I got what I think I was getting? You might be wondering, okay, Janae, where does this tend to go wrong with onboarding? Because outside of just sending them the link and making sure they have access and they know their next steps, what can possibly go wrong? And I want to break that down for you too. So the first thing that comes to mind is just too many tools, too many software working together. And a lot of times I think this actually happens for a few reasons. Sometimes it might just be that you had these tools from the beginning and it's a process to switch over and to consolidate. But a lot of times when you have software that then has to go through third-party software just to speak to each other and things like that, it just gets clunky and it weighs down the process. If you've ever heard, which I think all of us have at this point, like simple scales, complex fails, too many tools also falls into that category of just too much stuff. Another way this shows up is multitude of emails going out when they opt in, because everything needs to happen in the process, right? So say that you have a contract. Maybe you have software that sends out the contract and then it sends them email to remind them to fill out the contract so they can send it back to you. Or it could be where they check out is one place, and then where they actually get the service, the program, is another place. So then each platform is sending them emails. And the problem with this, outside of just who wants more emails, is it kind of brings this question into mind that I think we don't want for any of our customers, which is, am I in the right place? You have to think about this really literally. Right now, I feel like email deliverability is such a huge topic. I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I want you to even just think about getting your emails to land in someone's inbox. And when you're sending, or when your client is getting multiple emails from different platforms just to get onboarded, how do you even know they're all landing in the inbox? They might just get one in the inbox and maybe the others went to junk. They're not even looking in there. They don't even know to look there for them. And then now they're reaching out to you to get help onboarding. Hey, I'm supposed to be getting access to this. This isn't working. Hey, I'm waiting. I joined, but I tried to join your group, but then I haven't got a response yet. And it just is like all of these little points of friction in your process, which you don't have to have. And it makes the clients feel unsure about what to do next. This is adding to your customers' cognitive load, meaning how much they're processing in their mind when really they're just trying to get the dang program. They're just trying to get access, right? When it comes to, I always think about this from even a nervous system perspective of what feels safe. And a lot of times when there's too much going on, it just feels unsettled, right? I can't just lean back and go with the flow because there is no flow. I'm having to force everything to work in a specific order. And also, of course, subconsciously, they might even be questioning, hey, like, is this even professional? I've paid money for this service. Sure, your service itself might be amazing, but just the ability to get access to it, it can feel unprofessional, which can then just give them that slight little seed in their mind of kind of like, maybe this wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. And so the way that I like to approach onboarding, honestly, is to have everything in one place. It is so key to streamline as much as you can, especially when you're below, I would say, $250,000 in your business annually, because really you're going for simplicity. There are cases, I feel like, especially when you are further along in your business, where certain platforms may not give you the level of detailed data that you really need. And that's when it kind of gets to a point where it's like, okay, you have to make tweaks. But for most people, having everything all in one would actually be a very suitable, and it would simplify the way that you run your business, and it would simplify it for your clients too. It also helps with making sure that the next steps are clear because they're all in one place. You don't have to worry about it. Something that's really important in your onboarding is also to make sure that your boundaries and expectations are upfront as early as possible, right? I've used a platform called Hey Clients for years in my business. I think I've literally used this platform for maybe 4 or 5 years at this point, and it's my central hub for everything. It's the place that not just houses the onboarding, it's where emails are sent from, it's where the actual student portal is housed from, it's where all of the funnels and automations and where I can track their progress. And it's so seamless because everything is connected. I don't have to worry about going into Zapier and all of these different places to make sure every time I change something that it's still connected properly. There's no need for that. Another thing is also making sure that you have solid contracts in place in your onboarding process. I think a lot of people just think about, hey, I just want to get them access, and they don't think about making sure that they have solid contracts in place, which I think is a really, really good thing to do, not just for you and to set boundaries and expectations that you have for your client, but also for your client to understand what they can expect from you. It just literally sets the foundation for, hey, this is where we're at. This is what we are exchanging. This is what you can expect from me. This is what I expect from you. We are both agreeing to go into this agreement together moving forward. So this isn't just about software. This is really about how can you make the person who is on the other side really feel supported, feel safe, feel like they're in the right place. And this happens so quickly and often subconsciously. I can literally think of experiences I've gone into where, yes, I love the actual program, but just based off of how the initial onboarding was, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. You probably can too. When you go to set up this process, I know that questions will probably come up, which is actually why I offer a systems clarity call whenever someone uses my link to get Hey Clients, because a lot of people will use that call just to help map out their onboarding, because a lot of people don't like thinking about what are all the steps. And for me, I nerd out on that. I love coming up with how can we create the most magical journey for your client that gives you peace of mind and is just a win-win for everyone. But some people like to use that call for another system entirely, completely up to you. But if this is an area that you know that you could definitely improve on, and going into this year you have really big goals for your business, do not ignore your client onboarding. It will help your business grow in ways that you can't even fathom right now. Not only does it make it easier for you subconsciously, when someone buys, you're not having the mental load of, oh my gosh, I need to get them all these things. Did everything work? You just know, hey, it happened. I can move forward. Now my focus is on delivering. And I think that is so empowering when you don't have to constantly switch back and forth between, okay, I'm showing up to magnetize people to me. Oh crap. Like there's all of this stuff in the middle between now and me delivering. And so all of that to say, if you take away anything from this episode, I want you to understand that systems, which your onboarding system is a system, it creates capacity. It gives you more space. It takes the load off. And when you have more capacity, that supports you having sustainable visibility, because now you're not being distracted. You're not being distracted. You don't have to step away from your visibility efforts in order to make sure this is taken care of. And doing that will help your growth not feel as chaotic, right? So if onboarding is really the piece that you've been avoiding, this is your sign to simplify it. Go ahead. I will have the link in the show notes. And like I said, if you decide to do that, then you will get a systems call with me, and make sure that your clients are experiencing a high quality onboarding that matches the transformation that you deliver.